Hello and welcome to the Wikipedia Weekly Network here when Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, are editing Wikidata live. Hello Albin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm super happy that we are again back from a bit of a summer break. I'm back doing this. How are you,
Yes,
Jan?
I'm good as well. I'm also happy that we're back and that we're back at episode number 50. That's
Indeed.
that's a quite big number. When we started this, we didn't have any plan. We just let's do
No,
something fun.
yeah, you like reached out to me over chat one night. Hey, do you want to join this? Do some live editing, and then this became a thing. And
Yeah.
50 times, that's quite a bit. Yeah.
Do you have anything fun planned for today?
I think a bit of casual querying slash editing regarding sports because the Wikilove sports campaign is currently going on, and while it's a editing campaign for Wikipedia, I thought we could do it for Wikidata.
All right.
And you, Jan?
I was thinking of creating a navigation template for properties on Wikidata.
Oh,
And to do that, we'll also try to do a query to find out what to put in it.
right.
So let's get started. I'll share my screen here. Hope, there we go. And here, this is just a sort of not a totally random property, but it is like a not one that we're going to work with today. But when you are on a property, one tip is also to switch to the talk page of it, because there's some good information there that you will not find in the actual property. One of the things are all these good, like pre-made queries that counts a lot of things. Can be very useful to find things and to do data maintenance. But another thing that might be interesting are these sort of navigation templates to find similar or related properties within a topic. So first we see a navigation box here for Sweden related topics. So like if you're editing in things that has to do with Sweden, here they have been collected, so you know what you already have. And
So it's the see also property with but with superpowers.
yes, very much superpowers, because you can also have, like this one was the Supreme Court of Sweden, so it's sort of two topics. It's both Sweden, but it's also have something to do with law. So there's another one,
Right.
navigation box here for law. And since you and I, we're having this project doing with government bodies and government agencies, I was thinking, hey, it would be cool to have like a template government properties.
Oh,
And I
super useful.
found here, like there's a category. So I went looking and I couldn't find one. I found this one for organization. And this one is really interesting because many of these will be used on like on public organizations as well, agencies and authorities. So we'll try to not duplicate too much of it, but just to grab things that are really similar. And I think it is a little bit of the same with the law properties. So I'm actually going to start with this one because it's also a little bit smaller. So I'm going to start with copying this and removing some things. Like the things that are general here, I think we can keep all these for foundational text, main regular text, highest judicial authority, and legislative body. So what I'm going to do here now is that I'm going to copy this first and put it in the URL. And instead of law properties, I'll call it government properties. And this is sort of like a little bit of an old school media wiki, Wikipedia way of starting new articles. Like you can just enter the name you want in the address bar, and you'll go there and it'll say, well, we don't have this topic, but there's going to be a create tab. So you see, well, there's currently no text in this page, but we have the create source. So you don't need to push a button or do a search, you can just enter it in the navigation bar. So we'll create source. And while that's working, we're going to go here and we're going to copy things from here to have something to start from, because we want it to look the same. So we're going to use this sort of the same template here, and then we'll just change the things that we don't like. That's also like the most common ways of doing things on Wikipedia as well. Just borrow what others already built and reuse it. So first we're going to change the name, government. Let's try to spell that correctly. Oh, thank you. And let's do a preview on this. Let's see what else we have to change. And if you have any ideas already, like these are properties you should have in there, drop them in the chat and I'll try to pick it up. So I'm thinking of the laws here. We can get rid of I think I want to keep this one. I've seen this used. I'm not sure if it has been correctly used, but I've seen this used on government bodies. So I'm going to keep this one. But all the other ones I'm going to get rid of. So we'll keep I'll actually move that up to general for now. We'll see if we group it differently later. So I'll get rid of all the things that are in the laws. And to make this group 2, this group 3. I'm not sure if it matters now. This 4. List 4. This will be list 3. Shift. How it looks. All right, got rid of 1. Now, do we want anything in the trials? Laws applied? Perhaps. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at that one. The constituent that were permanent for a decision or law. Let's keep it. No, that's going to be for the law. Let's get rid of all of these treaties. Let's get rid of those. All right, so let's get rid of the 2 and 3. And for sure, we're going to have the identifiers. So let's make that 2 right now. And are there any identifiers here? Legal citation of this text? No, 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 no. No, I think we'll get rid of all the identifiers in here. So we'll need to find new ones. So the list is going to be empty. And show preview. All right. So this is very bare bones. Oh, we have wiki. All right. This refers to, we're going to need to create an item as well, because I think that's what's actually being shown here.
Right.
And this is this one. So we'll do that later. Create a new one. So what I want to do now is try to make a query that lists properties by how much they are being used on different government items, to get an idea if what should go in here, what we're missing.
Right.
I'm gonna start here. Maybe I'll do another zoom into these two, maybe even one more. I'll do it to see my entire. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of the reminder for the query service.
Survey, which everyone should take.
Yes, you should. I'm going to start with a simple select. And of course, I want to select a property. So that's easy to figure out. I also want this one to be human readable so I can understand it. So I know already by now, I want to have the label for it. And I want to have this ordered by the most common first. So I know I need to count something. So I'll start with count. And you can see here, it actually has a pre-made thing for how you can make a count. I'm not going to use this one because when I tried this one out, it timed out unless I do a subquery. So I'm going to do my count in a subquery and just show it here. So I'm happy with this for now here, like that. And since I already knew I wanted this in the order of the highest count first, I'll add that already so I don't forget it. So we're going to order this by, and when I want the biggest first, it's going to be descending. So this is sort of like the outer structure of my thing. Now in this thing, I will put a subquery, and I'll put the subquery within these brackets. And the reason I believe, one of the reasons that I couldn't do it was because of the label service slowed it down. So I'll put this label service outside here. And I'll just start writing service, and then we have this little thing that helps me get the property label. So that one will be outside of my subquery. So now I have enough to actually go start with the actual meat of this query, then not just the structure. So we'll select something again, and here it is still the property we want, and now we want to count something. So let's start a count. So we'll count, and what I want to count was properties that are used by the most items in this field. So I want to count the items. So let's do one thing for item here. And this thing will be the thing that we're called count, and swing up to the outer query later on. And when you do have subqueries like this, you get a lot of curly brackets. So it might be a good habit to start writing them both at the same time, so you know that you have them all and are not forgetting in the end and getting an error and you don't know, do I have them all or not? And every time when you use a count, you also need to group by everything that is outside. So let's start by doing that, because that's also one thing that's very easy to forget, and you get an error because you forgot. And here we only have one other thing, so it's going to be grouped by the property.
I think that the missing grouping is the most common error we get on this show.
Yes, if you go back,
we do it ourselves all the time.
Yes. All right, so now we have all the structure. Now we're going to get into the interesting things, that what do we actually want to do? Well, yes, so I want to select an item, and I want this to be something with the instance of, and I think we'll start with government agency, quite generic, but definitely in the field. So you'll start with VD, and we'll go instance, you press Control space, and you see I made wrong there because it shouldn't be VD here, it should be VDT when you're at the property level. Instance off. And now VD government, spelling is still important. Government agency, that's the one we want. And now we want to try to find out properties or actually claims that are being used on these. So we know it's on the item. We don't know which property. That's the thing we're going to find out. So I'm just going to call that claim. And we don't care about the value. We just want to know how many. So it could be anything. And here is the trick then. So when you have this, we want the property. How do you get that? We know it has a claim as well. So there's one thing to put in here in between. And there's a Wikibase thing. And if we scroll down here, there's this direct claim that we want to use. And I think that this is actually doing the trick. Now, I'm going to run this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to time out still, because right now, this part is, this is pretty much all the items that are in entire Wikidata. We don't have anything unless this gets resolved first. And if the query optimizer doesn't know that, it will time out. So I think it will. But then there is also a trick. We can give the query service a hint, literally a hint. So you start write hint and you press Control and space, and you get this text here that says optimizer none, which means that it will actually, I think, take these ones in order and just go with this one first. And there are very few items, like perhaps 1,000 or something, or a couple of thousands with a government agency. So this one should be much quicker if it works at all. So let's try it. Oh yeah, under 2 seconds. From timeout to under 2 seconds. And then it takes even more time to just render it. Oh, let's see. Did my... there it comes. Very slow. So what do we have? No surprise, instance of is the most common. We have country, also quite common. Let's see if there's something that is not very generic, because if we're looking here at the organization properties as well, we have a lot of them here. So we're going to see if what we want to use. I've checked on some of these identifiers. These are very generic ones as well. Located in the administrative territorial entity. I think that one might be interesting in
Maybe.
Is it too generic, you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a little too generic.
Yes. Applies to jurisdiction is quite high already, but we already have that one.
Right.
So let's see. This one is a very important one, but it's also very generic. But it's good to know when they end. The same with the replaced by and replaces. Office held by head of the organization. I think this one is something we should put in there, because this is quite common that we create items for the offices of these things.
Indeed.
Especially like from a difference from an organization. We don't do this for every organization. So let's put this one in the generic for now. Now I'll copy this property talk. I was thinking this one was a good one, but that's actually quite generic one still.
Is it?
Because it's their library, so they have all sorts of things.
Oh.
Legal form, did we have that one in here? We should. If not, we have legal form here. Yes, all right. So let's skip that one. Seal image. I think this one is a little bit specific for government agencies. So let's do that one. That one might go into another list even. We'll put it in the generic one for now. Chairperson, did we have that one here? Board member. We did not have that one here. Then we should probably get it.
Yeah.
This one is interesting.
Indeed.
Because these are, I think, always public organizations. So that will be our first in the identifiers.
And if someone in the chat knows about more identifiers that are super relevant and that we're missing here, you can just post it in the chat on whatever platform you're watching from, and we will see it here.
Yes. This one is generic, but good one. What else do we have? Archives at.
Oh, that's an interesting one. It would be super easy for Swedish.
Yes.
Actually.
And I think many government agencies are sort of like mandated by law to keep archives.
Yeah.
So I think that this one makes sense.
Yeah, so in Sweden, everyone needs to send, but I think they actually need to send them to 2 other government agencies.
That might be it. Yeah. Oh, little sis. This one is similar to what did they know? I think this one is good to have in the identifiers. Oh, I had double. We'll order these later on. This one is actually just for quite new one as well. It's for government agencies, so that one is good. Contains administrator. Budget. That's
an interesting one.
Is that one in the generic one? Let's have a look. We have. It should be in here as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
I'm thinking we'll put in here and improve this template instead. The budget one.
Indeed.
Where was it? 2769. Well, let's hope we're not getting too far into the rabbit hole, because that's always the thing. Like you're doing one, and then you're, let's improve this one while we're at it. Finance was attributes. Finance. Let's put it in here. Oh, what happened? There we go. Let's watch this one. All right. And here we have another one, the government organizations register ID. That's a really good one to have in our identifiers. So that'll go here. right. Here's a question. The main regulatory text. We had that one. No, we didn't have that one. We had that one in the law.
Yeah.
But I think we can duplicate this one because for many agencies, there's actually some regulatory text, especially.
Indeed.
So I'll actually take this. We want to be so central. I'm going to put that one in the generic. Not really sure why I ordered it like that. Ooh, and coats of arms. That's sort of similar to the seal. I think we're gonna grab that one. Was 488 the seal? Let's try to put them next to each other. And authority, what does that mean?
Yeah, I was
Seems
exactly
relevant.
wondering the same.
Entity having executive power on giving entity. I think this one is really good. Yeah. Oh, and here we have something. Wikidata property related to government and state.
Yeah, we could use
That
that.
was a good find.
Yeah, we could use that instead of creating an item, right?
Yes. And now let's see here. Did I do my research too bad? And do we already have a template? Let's check the namespace template. Oh,
I mean, it's a little more generic than what you were trying to do.
no, I think this one is. Why?
Oh.
Oh, there it comes. Let's see if I click go. Really slow my browser right now. Not sure why.
Yeah, I think there is some problem on Wikidata. I had some issues earlier today.
It might.
I thought it was my computer. I even restarted it. But...
There's only 48 items. I could scroll this. There's only 48 items in total. So there's no template here. All right, good. Good. Yeah. We didn't do this in vain. But we're gonna grab this one. Now this is stuck. Grab this one and put this up here. All right. And then back to this one is generic. Legal entity identifier. What is that? All right, this is a generic thing. Yeah. Yes. EDP, EDRP.
Oh, I wonder which who has come up with that.
State registered legal. I think this is a generic one.
Right.
Business number generic. Partnership, GitHub.
Has facility? Could that be relevant?
I think that is a generic one. Like, do they have a toilet?
Oh. Fact number.
That's for governments. Enterprise number. I think that is actually more generic. Chief executive motto. Now this one might be something. Let's have a look. Yes, this one is. This is 6910. That's an identifier, so we'll put it down here. Copy and close. Fragdenstat public body slug.
Yeah.
That's similar to the little sis and the other one, so that's really good. We'll put them next to each other. Every time. And we're getting down to the bottom here. French public servers director ID. That sounds good.
Indeed.
Yes, that sounds good. So grab that one as an identifier.
That had an interesting instance of, didn't it? Wikidata property for authority control. No, I just said that authority and
yeah, that's a generic one. Yeah. And what is the competent authority? Oh, that's not what we want. Hungarian public body ID. I think that is good. Yes. Getting a little bit from all over the world here. Come on. And then we have the, I wonder if this is a generic one or identifier of an organization on the French National Open Data. I think this is one we want.
yeah, it says gov, so.
EU Transparency Register ID. I think that's for lobby organizations. Is that sort of the other way around?
Oh.
Well, anyway, I'm going to continue to do this. I see that the list is actually quite long because it's getting fewer and fewer apart. And then actually, I'll do that. I'll save this one for now, starting point. So you can see how it looks like right now.
And then you would add this to a property?
Yes. And I wrote something down here. So, and then I would go to all these property pages and add them in the bottom on the talk pages so that you can actually navigate in between them and find them. Probably
so
clean this up a little bit.
That is something one needs to do manually.
Yeah. And if now here's the thing. If you want to reuse this, I'm going to share this query. So this is the item that you want to change to get whatever you are looking for and want your properties around. And we're also going to use this title to get something nice here. One, I'll call it. It's not topic, but yeah. I need to run that again to actually get the URL. Very quick, 2 seconds. I'll put this on a banner so you can see it. There we have it. And with that, I'll let Albin do some sports editing.
Right. So here we have Wikidata once again after summer break. Not really for us, but for our editing here. So it's currently Wikilove Sports, and it runs every year for the last 3 years. This year it's mostly on Wikipedia, but I think let's do a bit of sports editing. I think it was quite a while since we did that last time. So I'm currently rather interested in, I want to model like who historically won a competition. Who won the World Orienteering Championships Women's Sprint in 2005? Not sure if that was in 2005. It's every second year, but I want to look at that modeling, make some querying, see if we can find gaps in this data. Like, is there a year that is missing the winners or that type of thing? So I'm going to start by looking up the World Orienteering Championships. That's 2013. Let's do 2021. It says nothing found, which is interesting. It did actually find something. So we can see that the World Orienteering Championships would be modeled as a sports season. I think all of them carried as follows, followed by. So let's start by checking if there could be an instance for this missing, like maybe 2018 would be missing for some reason. So we can use this information here to head over to the query service and make something. So query.wikidata.org. So here is something I do. I always start when I used to explore the data, I usually use the star. I'm not sure exactly what I would be writing, but I want to query for items. I want them to, let's see here. Oops, gonna close that one. I want them to be a sports season of league or competition. I want that to be the World Orienteering Championships. Let's see, we also need a time. Point in time. So that's the values I want. Let's see. There, that easy one. And I want this to be the World Orienteering Championships. There we go. Let's just see how many we get. We got 24. The first one was in 66 in Finland. So let's also get point in time. Point in time and column time. I want to order by time. Oops. To see, as I said, the first one was in 66. Now let's actually get the labels also for the sake of it. Let's have that auto completed. Then we can't use the star anymore. Item, label, and the time. 24. So we can see that they are every second year. So let's just verify that. Here we got 78, 79. So there was 2 in a row, according to this. This has quite a long queue identifier compared to the rest of them, so I want to check that one out. I am not sure if there was 2 World Orienteering Championships next to each other in time like that. Let's see, follows. The 78, followed by 81 in Finland. Additional translation of this is for books. I'm sorry.
Yes.
This is really nice. So if we notice one thing, I said I was interested in winners. You can't see a winner here in any case because the World Orienteering Championships consists of a lot of various distances like sprint, middle distance, long distance, and so on. And we can actually see those being parts here. So hopefully these parts will have various data with the winners. I'm gonna go through here to continue validate this list, just if it makes slightly sense. So it should be about every second year. I can see there looks like there are a bunch of them missing here actually. 91 2008. That's a gap to say the least. I'm just gonna search Wikidata to, let's say 2005. I think it was in 2005. So here we go. 2005 World Orienteering Championships. That's the World Orienteering Ski Championships. That's the junior one. So this is missing from a query. So this is very interesting. It seems to be, here it says instance of sports season, and it has sports season of league or competition. But this one uses a different modeling. It uses instance of World Orienteering Championships, which is not really right in this case. So I want to, and we could kind of see that if you're sometimes unsure, sometimes, and you shouldn't take this as a general rule, but if most cases are modeled in one way and a few ones are modeled in a different way, the majority wins. And I think this is one of the cases. It happens that the majority does it the wrong way, but it's one can have it in one's mind, at least, in my opinion. So we want to track down those who are missing. And I kind of make the assumption now that they have the same error sum modeling like this one. So they should all be, I imagine, instance of World Orienteering Championships. So I actually want to make a new query for that. And I'm just going to copy this query actually. Make a new one here. Because here we query for sports season of league or competition. And I just want to replace that with instance of. Oops. There we go. And that should list ones that are modeled this way. And we can see that this already like raises alarms. It's like, it's not 66 when the first one was, it's 93, 95, 97. We saw both of them, I think. No, we didn't. 2001, here is one that which mains label is in Swedish, which is also suspicious. And here's some of the later as well. Or this one on 13. The label doesn't follow the same pattern anymore. So let's have a look to see if. Oh, here it's interesting. Here it only got the instance of, it do not have the follows. So this one is a little easier actually to edit to begin with. So let's say it should be sports season to begin with.
I would just have moved that one.
Oh, do I have that gadget?
You have those green little things to the right.
Oh, that's the move one, right?
Yeah. But then you need to know the number of the sports season.
Oh, right.
Of the sports season property.
Indeed. And now I want to add that very long property, which is called, let's see here.
Oh, you had it in the query.
I had it in the query. I have it in this query.
Yes,
I do. Sport season of league or competition. There I go. I knew the name as well. And here I want to have the World Orienteering Championships. I'm actually gonna copy this to my clipboard because my clipboard has a history, and I will be copying that several times. There we go. And we also want the follows here. So I want to add qualifiers. Oh, it manages to do follows. So this was in 93. Let's double check if there was one in 92. This doesn't have a 92 one. The object query. Let's see.
91.
91. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. Follows. I should really have selected a competition with less.
It started with a 1991. That's easier.
Yeah, and I should have selected. Oh, this also had got all the parts. That's super nice. Follows, and I should have added that. Let's see, followed by, and here it should be the 93 one.
No, this is the 93 one.
Exactly, this is the 93 one. So is it 95 then, I guess?
Not sure. I think there was an... Check your second query.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check that.
95, yeah.
95. I'm gonna be lazy. There we go.
It's an interesting time series because there seems to be has something going on. Like they wanted every second year, and sometimes let's do one more.
Yeah, so they end up changing that every now and then. So currently they want it to be able to be in more parts of the world. So they have split like all the sprint distances, which in orienteering you usually run in a city or something. Mm-hmm. That's going to be 1 year, and then every second year there will be the distances you run in the forest, and they will mix it up like that. And they change that all the time.
The world is messy.
Yeah, indeed. And for example, last year we will have a look at that item. They didn't have it because of COVID.
Yes.
So they actually moved it to this year, and they moved the event, or did they cancel it because it's 2021 in the logo?
All right.
Good question. Here again, we got this edition or translation off, and this translation already indicates that it's about books, and I happen to know about that it is about books and such. It seems also like it's from an automated process of some kind. That one looks good. I'm not gonna do all of them. I want to do a bit of different exploration, but I at least gonna do the meta order case. But I want to have a look at this one, 2003, because it has a Swedish label, which looks odd to me.
Oh, yes.
So let's see.
The Swedish label in the English field.
Indeed, and it wasn't even. I thought it would make sense if it was in Sweden, but the Swedish one was in 2005, and this was in Switzerland. So
yes.
I actually think the English label, however, is a little better than the Swedish label to begin with. It doesn't use the app version. So I'm gonna see 2003.
Wait, you put the Swedish one in the Norwegian one. Are they similar?
Oh, my mistake. The Norwegian label should be changed, but I would need to go to another computer. World orienteering. Let's see, was that right? No, it wasn't right.
Yes.
There, I got it, I think. So, and this is interesting. Here we see also a bit of a different modeling, which I'm not directly opposed of. So if we head back to 2005, we can see this is still wrong. It got the instance off, but it still got this similar pattern, follows and followed by here. However, here we got it directly on the item. And I don't think any of the ways are wrong, so to say. But here it actually raises a constraint.
Yes.
Should have the inverse. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Here it got nice. We got addition number. Sorry, this inferred from indicates to me that it's an automated process and not a human who have verified it. But going through that, I think that's a good progress. And I'm kind of happy with this way I'm working here because I have identified, hey, this is how it's modeled, but we have a couple of outliners, and then I can work on them manually. So querying is just an essential part of my editing workflow here. But I really want to get back to the winners here. So we saw some interesting modeling before when it had part of all the distances, which we could query. And I want to do something like that. But first of all, I want to check it for even more errors because I could imagine that people would add the winner to just the World Orienteering Championships in general. I haven't checked this, but I just imagine it because it's kind of a bit of an effort to create a new item for all of the different distances. So if I just want to mark out the winner somehow, I can see why people would just add it to the main item. So I want to see if we have that type of item here. So minus, and note here that because I haven't fixed all of them, this is my original query with the sports season of league or competition. So I'm not checking all of them, but at another occasion, I will complete this. Minus, so let's see, we got an item, which is the World Orienteering Championships in a particular year. BDT, I think winner is called winner. Winner of a competition. Do not use an odd word item. Is this winner all? No, I think
that's the right. It's just some instruction text in the.
Indeed. And I don't care about who is the winner. Jan showed this as well. If you just want, hey, there should be something here, then you can use those brackets. Oh, so this is interesting. So I said I wanted the ones. I want the ones with the winners, not without the winners. Without means that it's successful. But I get 25, so I'm assuming this won't return anything.
Nice. Good to verify.
Exactly. So no one had done the error I imagine someone would have done. But I want to select the parts to see for which years have we actually recorded winners, or can we see some patterns, or even make visualizations. I don't have a visualization in mind, but to kind of get the idea of a visualization I could make, I would first play around with check if I can see the data and such. So EDT, and I'm doing all of this for orienteering, but the same patterns and modeling can be applied to many sports. It's a bit different when there are very team-focused sports, but we might be able to see this here actually. So this
might even be useful outside sports, because I think this winner thing might be similarly modeled.
Yeah, and
other competitions.
I think when we previously have edited sports, we have then reused IDs about events because sports is usually always around events of some kind. I know we have had some times when we have reused the same modeling then for just generic events when we made that calendar, for example. So let's see, this would be discipline. So I want to select that. See if we discipline, we got a big couple of ones. Let's give that a label one. Discipline. Label. 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 There we go. So here we can kind of see the pattern. We see the one in Fiskars, men's individual, women's individual. We can already see that in 66 they didn't have a long distance or middle distance. They just had men's individual and women's individual, but they still had the relay, so the team competition for both men and women. 68. So I want to check. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is kind of interesting. So we got this with a couple of gaps. So here we know that there is a gap because there are errors on model. But then after 2008, we should still have a couple of ones which are currently modeled but doesn't have this. And now I want to check when I got a discipline. So the discipline should always have a winner. I don't think there is a case where no one has won a discipline. Maybe there are in some sports, but I don't think that should exist here. So I want to check if there is some missing, and if that's the case, can we find the answer?
Yeah.
So VDT winner.
I mean, it could possibly happen like if we made the item, but it was canceled, the event.
Yeah. So for example, for 2020, if one would have made the items for all of this, that could be the case indeed. So this is interesting. Did I do something errors on? Yes, I did. I said item here, but it should be discipline. I want to check the winner on each of the partial competitions. Oh, and I see a bit of a pattern already. So when we got a team win, like we do here, because a relay, there are several men in the men's relay, and same for women. Here we got a woman's individual, which seems like something we should fix, but order-wise, it's all relays. So it's all when we have to add multiple people, or even sometime like just can we indicate that country won or something like that. So I want to check out how that is modeled on a World Orienteering Championships, which we knew also had a relay, but doesn't show up here. 66. I'm thinking. So I'm gonna head over to Wikidata, 1966. And there we go. Can go directly to the relay. I'm gonna head over to the women's relay. So let's see. Yeah, exactly. Here we see the modeling, and I wonder if this is the most common way to do it. We see that there were 6 teams, and the winner was Sweden. We got Kerstin Granstedt, and I wonder if this is correct actually. Describe that URL. Yeah, so this should actually tell us. So let's see, this is a historic page for 66. Is it called something else here? Relay, woman. That is indeed correct. Finland was second, Norway was third, then Switzerland. The usual suspects. So that's how it's modeled here. And I want to explore if this is a common modeling. I can't be sure of that. So I'm gonna write just a quick query to verify that this is how one would model this. First, I also want to check the together with property because that sounds very interesting. Qualifier to specify the item that this property is shared with. Yeah, and then we can see clearly that it's odd words on partner in business or sport, partnerships with or running mate. So that's good. And I'm thinking to explore if this is a common modeling, I want to query for, hey, I want competitions, or just winner, and winner set to country. And I can use Sweden there, for example, because then we would like include author things like maybe football, World Football Championships, for example, it might have winners Sweden because that's a team effort. So I want to make that shorter. And I don't want to select competitions here because I imagine the winner and having winners set to Sweden will already limit it to sports competitions. So item, PDT, winner, and here I want to say PD Sweden. Did I do something else on?
Oh, you had the third?
Why is it auto-completing?
I think because you have a small s, lowercase s.
Okay, that's interesting in my opinion.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give this to make it somewhat sense for myself. I'm gonna give it the label. I did label right that time. I'm gonna add the service. Let's run this. So curling, for example, that's Women's Tournament 2022 Winter Olympics. So that was supposed to be won by Sweden then, but I don't get a huge amount actually here. I got like almost half of this way of modeling is the World Orienteering Championships, and that doesn't seem right, in my opinion. So I wonder if there is another way this could be modeled. So if I go here to winner, then it says winner Sweden. And that is as it is. Let's see if I changed it out for a country that should be much more common. So United States. There we go. So this still doesn't seem like a lot to me for sports events, and they all seems to be about like one singular event almost.
Yeah. But I think
So-
Ryder Cup is a team competition, so you could check that out.
Yes, if I mean the Ryder Cup is clearly modeled this way.
Mm-hmm.
So the question now is what are the options? How are orchard things modeled?
Yeah.
And to this, I do not necessarily have a great solution myself when I do this. So I would here go to Wikidata and I would try to figure out what's a large team competition that should have this modeled. So, for example, all football. Is it called that even?
Perhaps soccer?
Or is it maybe not world? If we just do... Oh, this should World Cup. Which is slightly different, but still. We see the home venue, okay? Let's see, I want to see the winner. Oh, and here we directly see a different type of modeling. We see the winner is here, the national team of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
So here we got another way to model it. This wouldn't be... I don't think this would be... Maybe this scales well even for orienteering, because it's the question is, every time the team is changing, is it a new team or is it still the same national team but with different people? In this case, it seems that they consider it always the same.
Yeah.
But
I think that might come from Wikipedia, because I think there's, for the soccer teams, there's like one article for the team, and then that one changes over time. So
indeed,
it's interesting.
So I'm gonna check another one here to see. Yeah, so here we got the national team again. So I want to want to check a second sport. I'm gonna go with curling. We already saw an example of that. Give me competition. Here we go.
Oh no.
Oh, that didn't say much.
No one cares about curling.
Oh, but it might have been the main event, so
Uh-huh.
let's see. So what could we more? I'm really bad at orchard sports. Team sports.
You're about to write basketball, I think.
Basketball. Challenge. FIBA. Oh, okay. So this should have a winner. I was hoping. It has
No winner.
ended. But it has no winner set. Do we... Here we got another one. Let's check that one as well. Organizer.
No winners.
Oh. Okay. Then I'm gonna do a different thing here. So here we got winner. And I want to set this to type. Or no, we call this winner, of course, that makes sense. And then I want just to check the instance of the winner.
Mm-hmm.
So winner, VDT, oops. Instance of, thank you very much. Here, I'm gonna call this time. So I want just the winner here. And I want type. And I want to say minus the winner being a person, essentially. Because that's obvious.
Yes, those are already good.
So winner, EDT. And that be BD person, human. And hopefully I didn't make a mistake there. So let's see. So I could like count this and group them, but I just want to get an overall ID. So, and I should really got a label here. Especially for a query that took a second or two.
But you got 76,000 results. So we do have a lot of winners in Wikidata.
Exactly. So there might be a practice that is very commonly followed here, which is what I'm hoping for. And the label service is not fast today.
No. I spotted another property, member of sports team, that possibly could be used as the qualifier on the winner. Oh, it even timed out.
We're using the most underused feature of SparkGL ever. The
All
limit.
right. We'll have it with the 500 first.
Yeah, so that is usually used to point from the person to a sports club or some team thing. Oh, we see a lot of association football teams. We see capitals, mega cities. So cities often win things.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, music groups.
Mm-hmm.
We see countries.
Yeah.
Coming here. Public companies, businesses, states, more countries.
State of India, region of Italy.
Business, association, football teams, country. states, which I imagine all of these are essentially countries.
Yeah. Yes.
So countries seem super
That's
superpower.
US.
That's to you, right? Of course. So we see this pattern that countries seems to be a very accepted value here. So this is usually, to round off a little, this is usually how I give myself a bit of a to-do list. So already I got a ton of World Orienteering Championships to clean up that in the modeling so I can actually follow them in the same way. And then I got the way I need to create parts for each of the disciplines. And then I got a bunch of like relays historically, which are missing data and which I can add more data for. So essentially, with a bit of a half an hour of querying, I've gotten myself things to do for every evening in the week. And that's usually the case, but it's just usually how I also go around to find this type of problems. So I hope that I give a bit of insights into that and how essential querying is for editing. Editing and finding this type of errors would, without the query service, be incredibly tricky. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right. We have one nice comment here. The Wikipedia community won the Erasmus Prize 2015. It would be a large task also to add the qualifier for everyone in the Wikipedia community at that time.
Oh, indeed. So if we would do the same as in for sports teams.
Yeah. I think we shouldn't. That would be too much.
Yeah, the QIDs we would need to create for each user as well.
Yeah. All right.
So
that's all for today. And I think we're back on now. So let's see you next week again.
See you next week. Bye.